Amoeba proteus slide. The type of eukaryote is a protozoa, lifestyle stages, cyst, and trophocyte. Based on motility, movement, class, Sarcodina, Amoebae. Cells, it's unicellular. Examples of disease from type of organism is Entamoeba histolytica, causes amoebiasis. It's transmitted by drinking contaminated water containing cysts. Cysts help organisms survive stomach acid to make it to the intestine. The signs and symptoms is bloody diarrhea. The diagnosis is finding cysts in stool samples. The treatment is anti-protozoals like nitronamdazole. It is in trophocyte form and it looks like a blob of jelly. It doesn't cause disease, but is relative. Entomobia can. Plasmodium smear is a ring form. It looks like a tiny purple rings inside the red blood cell. It's a trophocyte form. The type of eukaryote is a protozoa. Cyst and trophocyte are the lifestyle stages, classified based on motility. The class is Sporozoa. It doesn't move. Unicellular. Examples of disease. Plasmodium causes malaria, which infects red blood cells. It's transmitted by mosquitoes. The signs and symptoms are waves of fever and chills that coincide with parasites' lifestyle. The diagnosis is finding trophocytes trapped in red blood cells. The treatment is anti-protozoals like chloroquine. Rhizopus stolonifer is a fungus, the type of eukaryote it is. These organisms are often saprocyte, eating dead organic material. You can tell that it's mold because it has a fuzzy hyphae. Is it a mold or yeast? It's a mold. Classified based on sexual reproduction. Class is zygomycete. Cells are multicellular. Example of disease is mycosis, a disease caused by fungi. Transmitted by contact with spores, either inhaling them or contacting them directly from humans. The signs and symptoms are coughing and skin rashes. The diagnosis is finding budding yeast, and the treatment is antifungals like azoles. Enterobius vermicularis is the adult form. The type of eukaryote is a helminth, which is a worm. The life cycle stages are egg, larvae, adult. Classified based on body shape. Class, nematode, which is a round worm. Cells are multicellular. Example of disease is Enterobius vermicularis pinworm, transmitted by contacting eggs from scratching, itching anal folds, or form contaminated friends. Signs and symptoms is an itchy anus. Diagnosis, finding eggs in the anal folds. Treatment, anti-helminths like albendazole. The adult pinworm looks like it has pin on its end, transmitted by spreading football-shaped eggs. Saccharomyces cerevisiae plate is an asexual form. The type of eukaryote is a fungus. These organisms are often saprohytes, eating dead organic material. Is it a mold or a yeast? It's a yeast. Has buds inside hyphae. Smooth. Classified based on sexual reproduction. Class, asomocyte. The cells are unicellular. Example of disease from this organism are yeast infections, transmitted by endogenous number of the normal microbiome, but can overgrow if one is immunocompromised or taking antibiotics that kill good bacteria. Signs and symptoms is irritation and itching, inflammation at site of infection. Diagnosis is finding budding yeast, and the treatment is antifungals like azoles. Yeast are smooth, unlike mold, which are fuzzy. Taenia worm specimen is adult form. The type of eukaryote is a helminth worm. Life cycle stages are egg, larvae, adult. Classified based on body shape. Class is cestatoad tapeworm. Cells are multicellular. Example of disease is Taenia or tapeworm disease, transmitted by ingesting larval cysts and contaminated meat. Signs and symptoms: decreased appetite, weight loss, diarrhea, and malnutrition. The diagnosis is finding eggs in the stool or elevated eosinophil count. Treatment: antihelminthics like praziquantel. Adult tapeworm looks like long, flat, like a piece of tape. Giardia lamblia is a protozoa. Life cycle stage is cyst and trophozoite. Classified is based on motility. The class is Mastophora. Flagellate moves with flagella. Cells unicellular. Giardia lamblia causes giardiosis. Transmitted by drinking water contaminated filled with cysts. Cysts survive stomach acid and make it to the intestine. Signs and symptoms: greasy, shiny, floaty diarrhea from malabsorption of fatty acids. Diagnosis: finding cysts and trophozoites in stool sample. Treatment: antiprotozoals like nitroimidazole. Giardia looks like a leaf with two eyes, which are actually nuclei. Also looks like an old man face. Enterobius vermicularis egg is a helminth worm. The life cycle stages are egg, larvae, adult. Classified based on body shape. Class: nemotide roundworm. Cells is multicellular. Example of disease is the pinworm Enterobius. Transmitted by contacting eggs from scratching itchy anus. Signs: itchy anus. Diagnosis: finding eggs like the anal folds. Antihelminthics like albendazole. It's a football-shaped pinworm. Eggs. Scytomosa egg slide is a eukaryote. The stages are egg, larvae, adult, based on body shape. Class is trematide. Flatworm. Cells are multicellular. Example of disease is Scytomosa. Transmitted by wadding in contaminated water where larva forms. Berries in your skin causing itching. Signs and symptoms is itchy spots on the skin. Can cause damage to other organs. Diagnosis: finding eggs in stool, urine, or tissue samples. Treatment: antihelminthics like praziquantel. This looks like a speech bubble because of its distinct spine. Toxoplasma gondii slide. The type of eukaryote it is a protozoa. Lifestyle stages is cyst and trophozoite. Classification based on motility. Class: sporozoa. Cells unicellular. Example of disease from this type of organism is toxoplasma, causes toxoplasmosis. Transmitted by ingesting, inhaling cysts from cat poop. Signs and symptoms: people who aren't in compromise may not have any signs or symptoms. Some may have flu-like symptoms, but it can cause miscarriage in pregnant women. The diagnosis is finding cysts in tissue samples, blood smears, or antibody tests. The treatment is antiprotozoals. It looks like crescent-shaped cells or cat poop. Budding yeast slide is the same as number 5, which is Saccharomyces cerevisiae plate. And last but not least, the Ascaris egg. The type of eukaryote it is a helminth, which is a worm. The life cycle stages: egg, larvae, adult. Classified based on body shape. Class: nematode, roundworm. Cells multicellular. Example of disease is Ascaris or intestinal roundworms, transmitted by ingesting eggs from contaminated food or water. Signs: diarrhea, weight loss. Diagnosis: finding eggs in stool. Treatment: antihelminthics like mebendazole. It looks like a deviled egg.